welcome back to Untitled-2 podcast. My name is Connor.
My name is Ash.
So I want to start off while it's fresh by talking about something we were just watching, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it, man.
So we're on episode 3, no, episode 4 now.
Episode 4, yeah.
Of this excellent fucking Netflix series called Mindhunter. By the time this podcast goes out, all the people who are gonna watch it have probably watched it already.
Yeah,
so
well, I think pretty much everyone's already watched it as we're speaking now, but
yeah,
I mean, it's still pretty much fresh for us. So.
We can't really talk that much spoilers because we've only seen 3 episodes, but
basically,
I said we won't be too.
Yeah, well,
worried
I'm pretty sure
about
we can talk about that.
Yeah, exactly.
The premise is it's about the FBI in the early 70s and how the terminology for serial killer and all that's not been made yet. Like, no one really knows what a serial killer is. They think that everyone who commits a crime do it out of either passion or rage, and that's like pretty much as far as anyone thinks. That people think that if they've done something proper outrageous, it's because they were born that way.
Yeah, born a criminal.
Like, they don't think things that they said. And obviously there's this guy called Holden Ford. He
no relation to Harrison Ford.
he gets the idea that there's something else going on, something much deeper, and he wants to learn more. He's very knowledge thirsty, and I really like that about his character.
Mm-hmm. Knowledge.
So he starts going. He gets a grant to go and audit some psychology lessons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he meets this guy, and then basically the whole movie is about interviewing
a TV show.
TV shows it's about interviewing all of the most prolific serial killers in the last few decades in America.
Yeah.
And obviously learning what they know about themselves and adapting that so they can better predict and capture future serial killers.
So basically, the law enforcement is just dismissive of criminals. They just say, okay, they're evil. There's nothing, no insight to get from this. They're just evil. Yeah. That's it, open and shut. But now that people are starting to think, maybe there's more to just people being twisted, sick people. Maybe there's
a reason
for like they're not just born evil. Like something in their life is causing it to be that way. So far, he's only interviewed one serial killer, but there's an intention there to interview more. I mean, for us watching the show. And
that serial killer is, if anyone's familiar on American serial killers at all, was Edmund Kemper.
Yeah.
Who I had no idea who Edmund Kemper was before this.
Yeah.
But I've come to really like his character.
Him.
I mean, it's not really a character, is it? Like, it's based on fact. So I'm really liking how they've portrayed him in the show.
So we'd never heard of him, so I wondered if he was like a made-up character for the show. So I asked Alexa, Wikipedia, Edmund Kemper, and she told me it was an actual serial killer. So you Googled it, and we saw a picture of him, and their portrayal of him is so spot on. Yeah, it's unreal.
The guy they've got to play him looks so much like the actual person. It's unbelievable.
It is crazy.
I scrolled past it really fast because I was trying to get to the meat of the Wikipedia article, and I had to do like a double take. I quickly scrolled back up and I'm like, no fucking way. Like,
yeah,
it was amazing. But I'm really enjoying the show. I really like the psychology in it.
What I like about it is there's this sort of jarring disconnect between like other shows of this style or just media in general, like movies and stuff, where you've got a serial killer and they're just a serial killer. That's all there is to it. But whenever they present these people, they hit you first with sympathy, like a reason to be sympathetic about them, like an understanding of their situation and what's put them on the path to doing these things. And like you said, Edmund Kemper's like this really lovable character in the show.
Yeah, he's really
even though he's done like really depraved shit, cut his mum's head off, fucked the neck hole and shit like that. It's really crazy.
Yeah, he's very charming.
Yeah, very charming.
I won't say he's friendly.
Yeah, he's very unorthodox, but there's something charming about that.
Yeah, like he knows how to talk to a person and appeal to them and stuff like that. And he's very charming, and it makes for very great entertainment, I think.
Yeah. Sorry, I think the table's hitting the mic stand a little bit.
Okay,
just move that.
But yeah, obviously, when you first met me, I was super passionate about psychology.
Yeah, we mentioned this in an earlier podcast.
And watching this is like kind of rekindling that.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying psychology.
I was thinking about that earlier. I think just that interest we had in psychology from a fairly early age has sort of stayed with me and influenced my interests, especially with movies and video games and stuff like that. Because my favourite type of movie is a psychological thriller. I love a type of movie where it's just all about how the brain works, a specific study on a specific type of person and a specific situation to put them into.
Have you seen Shutter Island?
I have. That's a really great film.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I never really lost my love for psychology. I just stopped reading about it for a while and
stopped pursuing it.
Yeah. But it's same as you. Like, psychology influences a lot of what I think and do. Yeah. Like when I'm talking to someone, I'll be thinking like, if I'm getting bored of the conversation, I'll just be thinking, I wonder what that guy will do. The guy who's talking, I wonder what he'll do if I'll just slap him across his face right now. And what's he gonna do? He's not gonna. He's not gonna hit me back. He's a pussy. I feel like I'll just start letting my mind wander about like how a person would react if I just up and did something in the public.
It's quite interesting because when I finished school, I wasn't going to go into further education. I was just going to try and get a job. Then I realised how hard getting a job would be, and it was sort of last minute. So I said, fuck it, I'll go into sixth form. So I put my name forward to do art, IT, history, and psychology. But like thinking about this now, that the fact that this is a thing is so fucked up. But I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do because the timetables clashed. Yeah, and that's such a strange thing to think about. But one of the things they said to me was, "Oh, you can't do psychology, but you can do sociology instead." And I immediately lost interest then because I don't want to know how a group of people thinks or how a group of people is supposed to think. I want to know how individuals work. And
no, I'm very much the same. I have no interest in groups. I'm more interested in the individual person because I believe that people as a group are fucking idiots. They will be the dumbest shit that you'll ever fucking experience in life. The group mentality takes over. Yeah. Especially if that group's anonymous as well. They do some proper, stupid shit. I'm more interested in the individual person because when you separate someone from a crowd, they like shine brighter and you can see that they're more intelligent and stuff like that. And
it's really interesting to see how a person, how their personal influences have made them the person they are, rather than how constant influences within a group are sort of syncing them up with everybody else's personalities.
Yeah, I like finding like who the key influencer in a group is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's fun.
But Mindhunters is definitely that kind of show where it's just like, okay, here's this really interesting person. He's done some fucked up shit, but let's just try and get past that and see who they are as a person. Then
I like it because it's like, it's not afraid to admit that psychopaths are interesting, especially the serial killers. Yeah. They are interesting. I'm not saying like, it's cool what they've done, murdering all the people.
No, it's definitely not.
It's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
How their brain works. What made them get to that point and stuff. And anyone who refuses to admit and be like, no, they're evil and stuff like that are just fucking idiots. They're stuck back in the 70s.
Especially when you frame them in like the scenes that you see in Mindhunter where they're just like the scene we saw a few months ago where they were just sat eating pizza and laughing about how Kemper used to bury heads in the back garden and shit like that. Like, it's such a surreal experience, but then if you think about it, there's still people, like, they've done some fucked up shit, but they still, like, got up in the morning and brushed their teeth and went to work and stuff. Yeah. Like, their whole life wasn't focused around the depraved shit they did once a month or whatever. It's like if I go out drinking once a month and people only think about me when I'm drunk or something like that. Yeah. Think of me as an alcoholic because I drink once a month. And base my their entire perception of me on that.
Yeah, but I don't know, it's very clever as well. Like, they don't say, oh, you should you should be feeling sympathy for this Edward Kemper dude. They don't portray it like that way. They just let him talk, and then you're like, you start to feel like, oh my god, this guy's pretty cool, like.
Yeah, you're not even given the protagonist's opinion. Yeah, really. They leave it completely up to you to come up with your own opinions, and it's almost as though you're speaking to that person yourself, and you're getting a read on their personality. You don't have some narrator figure like telling you how to feel about them, and like the only person telling you about them is the actual character.
Yeah, it doesn't influence you at all. It just lets the characters do their thing, and then you formulate your opinions.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, definitely give Mindhunter a watch if you've got Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's on like anywhere else. I don't know. It might appear. Is it a Netflix original?
I believe so. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's probably just stay on Netflix.
Yeah. But while we're on this killer tangent, we played a game last night.
Yeah.
Called Hidden Agenda,
which is one of the new PS4 PlayLink games.
Yeah. We played That's You when that first came out, mostly because it was free. And we were like, oh, this PlayLink thing's pretty dope. But then that got boring real fast, and the narrator's voice is just so hard to deal with how much he talks as well.
Definitely. No, it got really boring really fast. I think we maybe played like 3 games, and then it just started repeating itself. I
ended up getting Jackbox Party Pack, the first one for Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, I prefer that because you have to download a fucking app
it's much better. Yeah,
you just plug in the Jackbox.tv and then the room code, and you plus you can play with like absolute random strangers.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. And
that tided us over to so the like 3 or 4 new PlayLink games coming out.
Yeah.
And we ended up getting the one that sounded the most interesting, which was that you solve a murder mystery with your friends.
Yeah.
It ended up just being me and you, despite plans for there to be more people. But I don't know, we worked quite well together.
I messed around at the beginning. I made like one purposely bad decision.
Yeah.
And then another one was an accident,
which turned out to be a good thing anyway. So
yeah, the thing was because you have to use your phone as a cursor.
Yeah.
And
so it's like a trackpad for the game.
And then when you look at the screen, when your finger's on the phone, you'll have a little coloured dot, which is your colour. Like red was mine, blue was yours. You have to move it into a little square for each decision. Mm-hmm. But those squares have a massive like radius where if you cross
invisible radius.
Yeah, if you cross that radius,
you inside
it just sucks you in as fast as possible, and there's nothing you can do if you're the only person making the decision or someone's already made that choice. As soon as your cursor goes in, it's like that's it. It's locked in. You can't quickly drag it back out. Hang on, no it. There should have been like a little timer. Or
make sure you're sure with it.
But like. You can also vote. Obviously, it was only me and you.
Yeah.
But if we had a group, like he'll ask you a question like, "Who's the most brave of the group?"
Yeah, who's the most trusting and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you can all vote, and then a decision will have to be made. And only the person who was voted bravest or truthful and stuff like that
is allowed to make that decision.
Is allowed to make the decision. But I really enjoyed the experience.
Yeah, it was really cool. Like, especially going into it fresh and being unsure about certain decisions and being like, oh, was that the right decision? I don't know. And like we'd noticed things like there was a point where it showed you a clue, but the character didn't realise it yet.
Yeah.
And we just kept repeating, what about that thing? What about that thing? We ain't got that thing yet.
There was a decision we had to make that was very, very difficult, and I had to pause the game.
You paused the game and we were like, oh god, what do we do?
I just couldn't, my mind was racing in a million different directions. I had to stand up and walk around a bit, and then it was like, right, this is exactly what we're doing.
No, that's really interesting actually, because if we had gone with the opposite of that decision, the story would have panned out massively different. So I'm really intrigued because I've got some friends coming over later this week.
Yeah.
There'll be a group of 4 of us then, and I'm hoping to because we did it first time, basically, we solved the case. Because I know what I think to be the correct answers, I just wanted to sit there as like adjudicator, and I won't tell them what the answers are, but just out of interest to see what they think.
Yeah, you won't make the decisions. You'll just go with whatever the group's deciding.
Yeah, and then obviously I'll be the last vote if there's a draw or whatever. So.
I want to go through it again and see what we missed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Plus, I want to see if there's a platinum for it, and if there is, if there's a platinum for it,
we'll have to go on your account and get it.
Definitely going for that. Yeah. The PlayLink is very gimmicky though, so I do hope that they release like PlayStation controller support for like just offline play, like solo play, something like that.
Yeah.
Plus, if you've got really bad Wi-Fi and all that, you're probably gonna have a really awful time with the latency, because there is kind of like QTEs where a sequence will play out like a character's running, and you've got to quickly move your cursor into a little point on the screen. And if you've got really awful Wi-Fi, it's not going to work out for you at all. Yeah,
you end up overshooting it, and you don't know you've overshot it until you've already moved back.
Thankfully, your Wi-Fi was doing all right.
I can imagine it'd struggle a bit with more people doing it, though.
Yeah. Also, like, as a disclaimer, it's not a really long game at all.
No, it took us 3 hours, maybe.
I wouldn't even say that, mate. Like,
well, maybe if we didn't have a break.
We started playing it at around just after 9, maybe 9:30ish, and we were done by like 11.
Yeah, okay.
So it was like maybe... Plus, I think we had a few smoke breaks and stuff like that. So it was maybe like an hour and a half if we just sat down and went and blazed through it. But we like solved it all perfectly, like, first time.
I don't know if it's perfect, because maybe there's better. But it did seem like a pretty fucking...
Yeah.
This is the best ending type of thing.
It was pretty fun, though. I really enjoyed it. The lighting in that game, though...
Yeah, it's a really beautiful game. They've definitely made the most out of Unreal Engine.
I think what they've done is I don't think it was real time.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I think it was.
Well, I don't know, because textures were popping in and shit, weren't they? So.
I think some parts maybe were, but like I've noticed a few times, it was like they just sliced the cutscene in half and went to a different one.
Yeah. There was a lot of times as well, like, where there was this like jarring disconnect where you go from one scene where it looked like a game and another scene where it looked like a cutscene in Uncharted or something.
Yeah, but there was a few scenes where the lighting was just so perfect, and if like the textures were just a little bit crisper, it would have looked like
the newspaper with a torch on it.
Yeah,
and the model was just this shitty box of a...
Yeah, if they'd have spent actual, like, more polys making that look like actual deformed paper and folded, newspaper, it would have been amazing.
Like, obviously they can't do that with every object in the scene, and there's a few things where it's like, but like, okay, this is a video game.
The camera got
right
close up to it. It was kind of an important thing.
Maybe that was just the low poly model, and it was supposed to load in a higher res one, but it didn't get a chance.
Maybe. There was also there was a scene where the camera was like on a crane in the sky, and it like lowered down into a suburb.
Yeah, that was really good shot.
And that it took me. I had to look like twice and be like, "Hang on, mate, that's not real."
No, that's something you kept saying as we were playing it. You're like, "That's a good shot. That's a really great shot."
No, yeah, it was definitely very cinematic in certain parts.
Yeah, it was really cool.
It was good. I mean, if you the play link's gimmicky, and if you can get over that, I recommend maybe giving it a play. It's maybe wait for it to come down in price. £16 for like an hour and a half. I mean, I guess there is replay value.
There does seem to be a lot of replay value, because I was just going to say that what we did was story mode. That was like get a friend or a few friends and just go through the story. But there's another story mode,
competitive mode.
So you're given an ending, and it says try and get to this ending. If you reach this ending, you get a shit ton of points or whatever. But everybody's given a different ending, so you've got to try and influence people. Influence the story so that it leads towards
you get given your agendas or something.
Also there's hidden agendas as well, where you'll be given a decision and a hidden agenda will pop up and it'll say try and convince the group to go for this decision.
I was wondering about that. I was like I was thinking like maybe you get given these little secret tasks, like find the clue before everyone else does, so that it doesn't make its way into the investigation or something. Then I was thinking, what if they've just it's just all about using those cards to lock out everyone's decision, and you choose the decision you get told.
Yeah, I think.
But we haven't played it yet. But like, since we're on the games, there's a few games next year. Well, this year.
This podcast will be out in the new year. Yeah, so happy 2018, everyone.
Aye. I hope everyone's worked off their hangovers and stuff.
Yeah.
I probably haven't.
Hope you had a great Christmas.
So, future Ash, you did it to yourself, mate.
Yes, you did.
Monster Hunter World.
Yes, I'm so excited about this. You've never played a Monster Hunter game?
I've never played a Monster Hunter game, but I really appreciate the animation. I forgot which one it was. I watched a YouTube series about video game animation and stuff like that. Yeah. I think maybe you put me on it. Was it? Did JonTron do something like that?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I think maybe you told me to watch it.
Well, what I remember is I had the 3DS one, which is a great game, and now that I've got a new 2DS, I'm excited to play it.
Tron did the was it a Super Mario one or something like that, or a Zelda game or something? I'm pretty sure he did something.
It could have been Barry Kramer from Game Grumps. Has like
yeah, that's it, Barry Kramer. I'm pretty sure it was him.
But so I had the 3DS one, and the 3DS one had this really dope intro, like movie thing.
Yeah.
I remember showing you that. But yeah, the game's really cool. I just love the concept of it, that there's all these different armors and weapons and stuff that you can get, and you'll see somebody wearing like this dragon armor, and you'll be like, mate, that's dope. So you'll go out and hunt this specific breed of dragon over and over and over again until you have all the parts that you need to make the armor, and you'll be walking around with that dragon themed armor.
Well, what makes me excited to play this one is when I watched the YouTube series on the animation and that of another game. I forgot the name.
What?
Monster Hunter game.
Oh, right, okay.
It was showcasing like how the monsters all have very different stages that they go through, but like the animation was so well thought out that when they did a new animation for attack, you could properly predict it.
Yeah.
So you could block it and stuff, and also when the weapons, like, because there's some ridiculous weapons in that game, ridiculous armor as well.
There's some really cool ones.
When you've got like a really massive like fucking claymore or something, when you throw it, well, when you swing it at someone, the animation's so perfect that it looks like the object's got weight that you're trying to swing over your shoulders and stuff. And I thought it was really good. So I'm looking forward to playing this game.
Yeah, it's going to be a really cool game.
Plus, it's Monster Hunter World, so you can play with your friends and that.
Well, you could always play Monster Hunter with your friends, but I think the reason why they called it World is because in previous Monster Hunter games, the areas were divided up into hubs, very small hubs. So you'd find out which hub the monster's in. Then once you're there, you'll attack it, and then it'll start limping or whatever, and move off to another hub. And you've got to try and get to that hub, and continue hunting it. And maybe there'll be other monsters around. And
well, I've seen some gameplay footage of Monster Hunter World, and
well, that's the thing. The Monster Hunter World is open world. It's not divided into hubs anymore.
I was just saying that it looks like they've kept that gimmick where you've injured it and you've got to track it down as it goes somewhere else, but you just don't have to, like, there's no loading screens or anything like that.
That was just pretty annoying. Especially if you were like dodge rolling away from something and you accidentally rolled into the next area and you had to go back in.
Yeah, it looks fun, and I'm looking forward to playing that with you.
Yeah, it's going to be so cool.
Another game that I've been excited for a long time. It's so long that I forgot all about it, and then when I remembered it, it like resurfaced on Facebook, I got really excited about it again.
Yeah.
It's called Kingdom Come Deliverance.
So you've heard the name, but I don't really know what you're talking about.
It's like a very historically accurate Skyrim without the magic and the dragons and all that.
Right.
The graphics look really awesome.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The combat system, I think, is going to be like authentic and stuff like that.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
And it's been in production for a long time now. I remember seeing it on Kickstarter like maybe 5 years ago. Right. Well, that's coming out next year.
Oh, that's dope.
And I think when I first saw it as well, it was only going to be a PC game.
Yeah.
But, sorry. They reached a Kickstarter goal, which was for him to get a deal with Xbox and Sony, so they could put it on those consoles. But yeah, there's not really much to say about it. It is what it is. It's a historically accurate RPG. Yeah. Apparently they've put a lot of effort into the clothing system as well, so it'll be all historically accurate garments and stuff. But you can like have an undershirt layer, then a shirt layer, then like a chainmail layer, then like a double over that, stuff like that. Like it looks very in depth.
Right. Cool.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a cool game. This next game, I won't say I'm excited for it, but I'm definitely going to play it. Maybe not on day one. I'm going to wait for it. Yeah. Far Cry 5.
Yeah. So Far Cry 3 was probably like at that time it was one of the best games I played. I loved it. The main antagonist was a really cool character. What was it called? Vass or something. Yeah. And that made me want, like, there was also these, like, all the boss fights were these amazing, like, high, trippy scenes.
Yeah, that became a trope, and they carried it on into Far Cry 4 as well, didn't they?
That made me want to play Far Cry 4, because I was like, Far Cry 3 was amazing, of course I'm going to play Far Cry 4, and then it wasn't a bad game, I played it a lot, I still enjoyed it, I'm pretty sure I finished it, but...
I think I've played it.
I don't think it was as good as Far Cry 3,
no.
And it definitely didn't make me go, can't wait for Far Cry 5.
I liked the antagonist of Far Cry 4 better than I liked Vast, though.
Yeah.
I also really like that if you just, right at the beginning of the game, it says, don't leave the table, I'll just go deal with this, I'll come back. If you sit and wait for 15 minutes, it comes back, and then, there's this montage where you're all, like, going on, like, shooting trips or something stupid, and then the game ends. That was really fun. But Far Cry 5, I'm going to play it because... I don't know, like, I played Far Cry 3 and 4, and...
I actually played Far Cry 2, but that was absolute turd.
Yeah, I don't know, whenever I've only played at yours, when we were Skype school, I never really played the single player where I was just made maps and shit like that. I fucked around with the map editor, which was pretty cool.
It was cool that you could download other people's maps, and there was a lot of, like, Jeep roller coasters and stuff. The premise in Far Cry 5... is pretty cool. It's like about
it's like Manson family took over a state.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing that just because it looks like a cool game. I like shooting people up and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, A Way Out, the next game.
What's that?
I'm sure I showed you it, and we both agreed that it'd be cool to play together. So basically...
Oh, yeah, you like break out of a prison together. Yeah, that does look cool. Yeah, that'd be really dope to do together.
It looks fun. Like, I'm not... it's like a Brothers A Tale of Two...
Is it not the same people that made it? A Tale of Two Sons was weird, because, like, you could play it single player, or you could play it two player, but it was always the same controller.
Yeah.
So, like, one half of the controller is one brother, and the other half is the other brother. So you could either play it alone and, like, control them both. It actually worked quite well. It was fairly easy to do, just yourself controlling two people. But then if you wanted to, you could sit with a friend and have him hold the other half of the controller.
It was a cool gimmick. Yeah, this is also made by those guys, and it looks fun. I like Prison Break stuff anyway. And
it's a really nice premise.
I think it'd be cool to play with a friend. Yeah. The next one, I think you're too keen
well,
on it.
Yeah, we've talked about this a few times. I'm not. I've lost interest. Well, it's Days Gone.
Yeah, basically. It's Days Gone.
I've lost interest in the whole zombie gimmick. I think it died out, but that may just be because of me. Because I got so into the zombie gimmick at one point that I've just sort of like exhausted my interest in it.
Yeah, I really like zombies. It's one of my favourite genres. And Days Gone looks like it'll be a fun game. Not game of the year, but like maybe just a fun game to play. I'll probably end up platinum in that as well. Crackdown 3 looks pretty cool, but I don't have an Xbox. I'm not going to get it.
Yeah, no. It's like I know that Xbox is having a lot of difficulty with exclusive games that are actually good.
Yeah.
So it seems like Crackdown 3 is a step in the right direction, and for that reason, I'm happy that Xbox gamers have that.
Well, they went through a phase,
but it doesn't make me want it.
Last year, where Microsoft were cancelling all their exclusives, the good exclusives.
Yeah.
There was that one where you like had a massive dragon companion. I forgot what it was called.
Yeah, that there was something like really overtly Japanese about it. Like he had headphones and he was listening.
I think he could also like transform into like a humanoid dragon or something like that.
Right. Okay. Like a draconid.
But I don't know. It looked fun. I'd totally buy an Xbox to play that game.
Yeah.
And they fucking cancelled it, so I don't know what's going on. But it might seem biased, but definitely PlayStation has the best exclusives at the moment.
Yeah. That's what turned me over to the PlayStation side of the force, because when I got a PS3 finally and I finally played all their exclusives, I was like, fucking hell, what have I been doing in my life?
Yeah, mine was a pure accident. I got my PlayStation 3 just to play Uncharted.
Yeah.
And I never expected to have that as my main console.
Yeah.
But I don't know, something just happened. A switch just got flicked, and then as soon as before I knew it, I was just buying PlayStation games instead of the Xbox version. I bought the PlayStation version.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption 2, by the way. Did you ever play Red Dead Redemption?
I had it for PS3.
Yeah.
I think you might have my copy right now.
Probably do.
I didn't get past the first bit, mate. It was just
really...
so slow.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
The aiming controls were really sluggish, and it was
For
just
PS3 it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it on the... No, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I had it on PS3, and we've talked about this before. PS3 controller is absolute fucking shite.
It's never on PC. I always get confused, like if it's just a PlayStation exclusive or an Xbox exclusive, but what I'm forgetting is that it's not. It's a console exclusive.
Yeah, it's not on PC.
But I liked Red Dead Redemption. I
like the concept. It's a relatively unexplored thing, especially in video games.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was cool up to it. Like I tried playing through it twice.
Yeah.
And I always stop playing at the exact same point when you get into Mexico, and there's just a lot of riding around between places. The missions
I've heard that
out,
complaint a lot.
and I'm like, for fuck's sake, I don't.
There's no like fast travel or anything.
I'm not sure. I feel like there would.
What would really interest me and immediately get me into the game is if you could do like train heists.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, that would be so dope.
Apparently, I had really good online, but I never really played it.
Oh, it's definitely gonna have online.
This next game is not coming out for PS4. State of the Decay 2.
I played State of Decay 1.
I had it on Xbox.
It felt I did as well. It felt very much like an indie game. Like it was just.
Well, no, yeah, it was.
Well, no, yeah, I know, but it was just overtly an indie game.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I when I'm playing it, at no point did I go, "Oh, this is the best game." Like the whole time, I was like, "Oh, this is alright indie game."
I ended
Good
up
job, guys, and
being really disappointed because on PC there was like, when it comes to PC, it'll be multiplayer. You can play with your friends. And so we both got it for PC because we wanted to play it.
and it wasn't.
And then like the very next day, there was all like, "Oh, we're cancelling that." And it was like, I don't know if it ever made it into it, but I didn't give a shit at that point. But State of Decay 2 looks like it's getting a bump in funds and stuff like that. And it's another zombie game, so obviously not as interested. But
yeah, not really.
Very cool.
Oh, I completely forgot about this.
Anthem by BioWare. I don't know if I'll pick it up. I'm really.
I remember being really excited after I saw the trailer.
It looked awesome, but you know what trailers are like in like E3 and whatnot.
Yeah.
And they had the whole scripted chat, like voice chat thing going on. And they did that in Division and I think was it Wildlands as well. And those games, they've not been great for me.
There was that cool scene where it was like stepping into his like medieval power armor, and that really got me.
Yeah,
hyped about it. But yeah, the same. I'm not gonna just pre-order it like I did with Mass Effect Andromeda. I'm gonna wait and see what happens first.
Yeah, well, it's an open world. Well, not open world, but a shared world game in it. So
it's like Destiny type.
Yeah, and there's a bit of a trend of shared world stuff now.
So
I'm gonna wait for like maybe a month if I can hold out that long before I buy it. If it flops and no one likes it and the player base just plummets after a few days, I won't get it. But if it's pretty consistent and I'll pick up.
I'll tell you what though, I'm gonna wait longer than a month to be honest, because like when we got Destiny 2, we were so hyped about it.
Yeah,
and then we exhausted what there was to do so fast, and now we haven't touched it for months. And I feel like that's likely going to be the same case. So I think I'll probably leave it like at least 3 months and then see what people like, if people are still like hyped about it.
Probably start quick firing. Skull and Bones. I might have told you about this. Do you know the naval battle mechanics in Assassin's Creed 4?
Yeah.
They've taken that and they're making an entire game out of it, and it looks to be like multiplayer as well.
Ubisoft are.
Ubisoft, yeah. Glitchy as fuck probably, but
yeah, but the naval battles were amazing in that, so that's really cool. That's quite exciting.
Yeah, it was like the best part of the whole game. I really enjoyed it. I loved upgrading that shit.
Yeah, definitely.
Shenmue 3.
Oh, obviously, you're hyped about that.
I'm so hyped about that. I'm really hyped as well because there is a rumour floating around that they're going to port 1 and 2 to PS4 as well.
I imagine if Shenmue 3 does good and they get a lot of sales from it, they'll probably put the money into porting the other 2 as well.
Oh, for obvious reasons, I'm excited about Shenmue 3.
Yeah.
You're probably not. God of War, got it.
Oh, that looks great. That's really
new
good.
direction.
Viking gods, like, what's cooler than Viking
but
gods?
Also, like, mechanics-wise, like, it's no longer like a isometric sort of... I mean, you could pan the camera in that, but mainly isometric view most of the times. It was hack and slasher. This is more like a over-the-shoulder hack and slasher, and I think it's less button bashy.
Yeah, a bit more like Bloodborne.
Yeah, but it looks pretty good. Looks like they're really focusing on like player interactions with that kid as well.
It looks really, really good. It looks like you're exhausting your list a bit here.
Well, there is a next page. This isn't my list. I just found it on. Darksiders 3 can fuck off. I don't know what that is. Yes, Combat can fuck off too.
Oof.
I don't know, Bloodstained.
God, they were scraping bottom of barrel.
Detroit Become Human.
So,
have you seen the trailers?
No, but I know what this game's origins were. I remember years and years ago creaming my little boy panties over this fucking
PlayStation tech demo of this
android that gets constructed.
Yeah,
and then
it's called the Kara tech demo.
Yeah.
And she freaks out when the guy's like, "Oh shit, she's becoming like conscious."
Yeah, let's take her back apart.
And he sympathizes her and he puts her back together and he's like, just act like you're not who you are.
Yeah.
But if you ever get a few minutes, mate, you should totally check out the gameplay demos and stuff. I think there's a new one released focusing, because they've done one focusing on that guy who walks into the apartment and he's like working with the FBI or something. He's supposed to negotiate with another android that's gone a bit fucking corrupt.
Right. Kind of like iRobot the game, isn't it?
Pretty much. That was shown at E3. I think that's one of the first things we saw.
Yeah.
There was another trailer they did where it was showing androids revolting, waking up other androids and stuff like that, and making them, human. And then the latest one I saw was focusing on the girl who played, Kara in the tech demo.
Mm-hmm.
She's like a servant in the house, and she just comes back from being reset, and it turns out the father's like abusing the daughter and he's very violent and stuff like that. And it's like it shows you all the different ways that you can go about it and stuff like that, and it was really fun.
Oh, that's really, really cool.
It's made by obviously the same people that did Heavy Rain. I'm just hoping they've got to a point now where the technology lets them. Is his name David Cage? I forget every time. It sounds right. But I'm hoping it's the point. It is David Cage. I just read it here. I believe there's a point now where he can get all his ideas out and it works seamlessly, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Code Vein. I'm pretty sure I showed you this. It's like an anime Bloodborne.
Oh yeah.
I think one of our friends is talking about Spider-Man.
Oh, I'm so hyped, man.
I'm hyped for it because it looks like it's the first Spider-Man game where you actually get to play as Peter Parker, and it's just as important as playing as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It looks like you get to walk around do some investigating or something. And obviously,
well, I've always loved Spider-Man games. I've heard a lot of people saying that Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2 were terrible games, and
I've heard
there was a time when Amazing Spider-Man was my number one favourite game.
No way.
I even played the Vita version, and you don't understand how bad that version was. But yeah, probably one of my favourite things in Spider-Man games is collecting all the different Spider-Man outfits, and I'm like, oh, I remember that one from the Spider-Man 2099 or whatever it was.
Yeah, 2099.
Noir Spider-Man, holy shit.
The last Spider-Man game I played was the one where, was it Shattered Dimensions, where you could be like a fucking Noir Spider-Man in 1940 and stuff like that. But anyone who saw that E3 trailer where it was like fucking web slinging through that cafe and bouncing off the walls and everything, obviously gonna be excited about that.
So cool.
Last of Us Part 2.
We don't need to talk about that. It's just a must-have.
There is obviously everyone's seen the trailer where Ellie's playing that guitar and whatnot, but there was a new one they released, like a cutscene from the game. Everyone needs to go see that. It was from was it Paris Games Week or something? Yeah. It was brilliant. They've up to the fucking technology and their own engine and whatnot, so that's looking pretty cool. We can't really.
Oh, by the way, I saw Neil Druckmann on Twitter. Like, he's got a lot of friends in the industry, and one of them were posting some like a bit. I guess it could be perceived as a bit SJW. Yeah. And somebody replied to Neil Druckmann and said, "Oh, shut up and go back to making SJW2." Right. And it was like, "Can you please address it by its proper name, SJW Part 2?
Sick. We can't really say anything about this next game because no one knows fuck all about it. It's Death Stranding.
Yeah. Oh, is that coming out next year?
Apparently so.
Oh, that's a bit.
At least it does say TBC, but people are predicting next year.
Hideo Kojima's next.
Hideo Kojima.
His solo project, mate.
Yeah, it's his own production that's not shackled by Konami.
Oh, so that's gonna be so cool.
Obviously, he's really good friends with
Norman Reedus.
Norman Reedus. And so obviously,
How does that happen? Like, how does an actor from America become best friends with a games developer from Japan?
probably because they worked on that Silent Hill game that never saw the light of day. But they became good friends there apparently. And obviously, it's got him doing some weird shit in a suit. Beyond Good and Evil 2. I've never played a Beyond Good and Evil game.
Nope.
Well, probably
The only one, if there's a second one.
But I saw some cool trailer.
All I've ever seen is this big fat pig.
Yeah.
I don't really know if it's from that game, but
I might pick it up. It looks like it could be quirky and fun. And then I'm not going to play this game, but you might. Kingdom Hearts 3.
Kingdom Hearts is one of the most cringy things ever. But what always makes me play it is just going from Disney movie universe to Disney movie universe. Also, somebody mentioned there's the potential that Kingdom Hearts 3 will go into like Star Wars and Marvel universes because Disney own those now.
Yeah,
that was my phone. Sorry. Yeah.
I hope so. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
I might actually pick that up if they do that.
Yeah.
Disney, mate, they might have failed this test a few times.
All right. Yeah. We're on to this.
There's this thing called the Bechdel test.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a test for movies where if the movie has female characters in it,
God, you're so burpy.
it's this fucking peppermint gassy as shit. If these two female characters ever interact and they talk about anything other than boys, anything at all, it could be about what the latest stool was
Fucking
like,
weather.
the weather, and it's got to be a conversation. It can't just be like one line or a fucking word or anything like that. It's got to be like maybe a few sentences. Then they pass this test.
Yeah. So it's basically a test to see whether
anyone can write convincing females that aren't super sexist and one-dimensional. In no way it means it's a good movie, but I mean, at least if you're concerned about how females are portrayed in that movie, and you can see if they've passed the Bechdel test, you can go and watch it.
Well, we were thinking about this I brought it up, but we were thinking about this in the context of Hidden Agenda, the game we were talking about earlier. Because there's only two female characters,
and they do meet up and talk.
They meet up and talk to each other, and to be fair, they do talk to each other about the case. But then I was like, well, does it count because they're just talking about these male murderers and male victims and stuff? Do they ever talk about anything that's not a guy?
I don't think they did. I don't know. I'm not sure,
but like you said, this accounts.
They did have a few. There was like 2 or 3 sentences where they were like, "Are you busy tonight? Do you want to come over to mine and we'll do these things and whatever?" So maybe they do pass it. And like I said earlier, it's more for movies, but with the way games are going now, I suppose you could apply it to games.
Yeah.
So I've got a list of popular movies that fail it.
Oh, that fail it! Great. I was worried that you'd say that they
passed it.
Yeah,
no one's know that. I've never seen this movie, but apparently Social Network has failed it.
No way.
Because none of the women in the movie ever talk to each other. At all, apparently.
Wow.
Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
No way. So like Tonks never talks to Hermione or something? Or when they do, they talk about a male
Apparently
character.
none of the female characters in the film actually have a conversation with each other. Apparently they trade quips a few times. When Professor McGonagall says always wanting to use that spell to Mrs. Weasley, when Mrs. Weasley called Bellatrix a bitch, but no one actually has a full conversation.
Right, okay.
Avatar.
No way. What about what's her name? Neteria or something?
Yeah, apparently it's like Harry Potter. There's a few brief moments where they hold a conversation where she's talking to her mum, but unfortunately they're talking about Jake Sully.
Wow, no way.
So, because they have that massive argument, don't they? And she's talking to her mum, and she's like, I am mated with him or something like that. It's been a long time since I watched that movie. It's not a great movie.
Oh, I can't believe what I'm about to...
The original... you can't believe it. I was expecting it to be on here. The original Star Wars trilogy.
There aren't that many females in it, to be fair.
It's
just Princess Leia.
Yeah, there's 3. There's Princess Leia. There's the auntie for Luke.
Oh yeah, of course.
And then Mon Mothma.
Mon Mothma.
Yeah, they're one of the leaders of the Rebel Alliance.
All right, yeah, of course.
Apparently, they just don't talk to each other.
Yeah, I don't think they ever talk to each other.
Do you know what's even worse though? The prequel trilogy does pass the Bechdel test.
Learned lessons there.
Yep. The entire Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Wait, does that mean it makes a better film if you don't pass the Bechdel test?
It doesn't mean anything, but like maybe there's a bit of a correlation with Star Wars at least. Yeah,
I'd say Lord of the Rings is the same thing. Like, there's a few female characters that never talk to each other.
There's like
they're always just love interests.
Yeah, there's Arwen, Eowyn, and Gladriel, the brilliant female characters,
but they never talk
they
to each other.
never even meet.
Yeah,
so that fails that. And then I've never seen Run Lola Run, but that's on here as well.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah.
What is?
Don't know.
Upside down, it looks like Fifth Element, mate.
But yeah, the Bechdel test, fun little thing just to see what movies fail it and which ones don't.
Yeah.
You could probably apply it to games.
It's quite an interesting topic I've never really thought about before.
Yeah. Weird science, of course, that fails, mate. Have you ever seen it?
No.
Two teenagers make a perfect woman in their computer or something, and she comes to life.
I've heard a lot of really good things about it being like the ground for modern comedy, basically.
Yeah.
Especially the sort of like cringy, awkward comedy that we tend to enjoy nowadays.
Yeah, well, it's from the 80s. I think there's a young Robert Downey Jr. in it.
Right.
If I remember correctly. It's worth a watch at least once. It's pretty fun.
Anything else?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh no! Wait! Oh my god!
Nebula telling Gamora she hated her the least of all her siblings isn't quite sisterly bonding, but it works.
So you're getting targeted ads for an Echo Dot there.
Yeah, there's one earlier for like PlayLink as well.
Your phone's listening to you, mate.
In it.
A lot of people at work believe that the mic in your phone is always on, especially if you have an Android phone, and Google listens to like keywords from conversations you have with people and then targets ads towards you based on that.
I was with someone. I think I was with someone, and some guy did the test. Or was I watching something? I think it must have been Ethan and Anila's podcast.
Right.
Post Malone.
Right.
Very good podcast. You should watch that.
Yeah.
Some guy did a test where he and his wife talked about buying cat food for like 3 days straight.
And they don't have a cat, presumably.
Yeah, they didn't search it or anything like that. They just talked about it with the phone around.
Yeah.
And then like 3 days later, they were getting targeted ads on Facebook for cat food.
Oh.
Obviously, I don't know how real it is, but it makes you think.
Well, yeah, there is that aspect that people will just want you to believe it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that happened to me because shortly after somebody said that at work, and I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
I was talking about Adidas trainers with Dom, and I started getting targeted ads for Adidas trainers and Nikes, and then eventually I ended up buying 2 pairs of Nikes, which I have now. So it works.
But speaking of the Bechdel test, do you reckon the characters in My Immortal pass?
Yes. Right.
I don't think they pass at all, mate.
So, do you want to brief us on what where we got to while I get this up again, because my phone's been off since then.
God, I don't know, mate. It's all a big blur.
So there's something to do with Hagrid.
Hagrid is a student?
I don't know, I feel like we misread that. Something very weird happened the last time we read it, because the ends of the last 2 chapters ended the exact same way. And I feel like something went wrong there.
Big things that happened was Lupin and Snap were
Masticating
outside the window, and then Hagrid came out and wanted to talk to everyone, which I think she meant Hagrid was trying to protect her or something like that. And then the next chapter, like halfway through it, she just copied and pasted the ending of the previous chapter.
I've just noticed she stopped naming chapters.
Oh no.
Hang on. Yeah, and he calls it Inobi.
Inobi, I don't know.
Oh yeah, the last line was, "Hey Raven, do you know where my sweater is?" Which was an author note. Yeah, so Harry's been covering his scar up with foundation, even though he got Diabolo, Ronald Weasley,
to turn it into a
pentagram. But it's changed back to a scar now for some reason. I don't know. Why even put in the story that it was changed if you're just going to change it back anyway? Like,
what pisses me off about this, right? Obviously, there's loads of things, but one of the biggest things is that she introduces something, and then quickly, immediately afterwards, explains it in like 2 sentences or even 1 sentence.
Yeah.
Gives it a little bit of backstory. Like, why can you not? What? Just I expect you to do that first.
She's so like self-conscious about her writing as well that she keeps putting author notes in brackets to the reader.
Yeah. By the way, this next part, does it start with "Stop flaming, guys"?
But probably I haven't gone to the next page yet. I'm just trying to catch up with what we had that happened.
Yeah.
So if you're coming into this and you're a bit confused as to what we're talking about because you haven't listened to the past like 3 or 4 podcasts, we've been reading a fan fiction that my sister sent me called My Immortal. It turns out a lot of people have actually heard of this. It's one of the most famous bad fan fictions. But we've never heard of it before. We've never read it, and I guarantee you we haven't been reading this outside of the podcast. We've been saving our reactions for the podcast. And it's turned into some really great podcast material if you just want to go back and listen to those. When I'm editing the podcast and I see the waveform's like twice as big whenever we're reading this book because it's just pure hilarity. So I'm going on to page 7, which starts with chapter 13. We've got chapters 13 to 15 on this page. So. Okay. Ash's prediction was that the author note at the start of this chapter would have something about flaming in it, so let's see if he was right. Author note. Raven, thanks for gelping me again. I'm sorry I took your poster of Gerard, but that guy is such a fucking sex bomb. Preps, stop flamging.
Okay. Flaming.
No, I read that wrong. It's preps, stop flammigan.
Flammigan.
Vampire and I ran up the stairs. Oh, Vampire is Harry.
Yeah.
In case you missed that. Vampire and I ran up the stairs looking for Dumbledore. We were so scared.
Did she spell Dumbledore correctly? Is Raven started to help her again?
Potentially, but listen. Vampire and I ran up the stairs looking for Dumbledore. We were so scared, presumably because Harry's scar has returned. Dumbledore, we both yelled. How do you write it twice? Side by side and spell one of them wrong and not notice.
Like I said this earlier, she must be like really either like so ignorant of what she's just wrote, right? And like she's in a frenzy to write everything out.
Yeah.
Like, it's just obviously not verbal diarrhea, but like
keyboard diarrhea. Or she must be severely dyslexic. Yeah.
Makes for a good laugh though.
Dumbledore came there.
Did he come there?
He came there. What is it that you want now, you despicable snobs? He asked angrily. Fucking hell!
So out of character.
Voldemort has Draco! We shouted at the same time. He laughed in an evil voice. What? No, don't! We need to save Draco! We begged. No, he said meanly. I don't give a damn what Voldemort does to Draco. Not after how much he misbehaved in school, especially with you, Ebony, he said while he frowned looking at me. Besides, I never liked him that much anyway. Then he walked away. Vampire started crying. My Draco, he moaned. Author notes, don't you think gay guys are, like, so hot?
She said, like, faggot a few chapters ago.
Yeah, no, like, get your priorities on order.
That was the cool thing when we were in school, though, like, being, bi-curious and that, and pretending you were bisexual.
Yeah. It's okay, I tried to tell him, but that didn't stop him. He started to cry tears of blood, obviously, and then he had a brainstorm. I had an idea, he exclaimed. What? I asked him. You'll see, he said. He took out his wang and did a spell. Then suddenly we were in Voldemort's lair.
Oh. Okay.
Great idea, Harry. How did you not think of it earlier? What? Oh, wait, no. We ran in without wands out, just as we heard a croon voice say,
Come on, mate. Don't leave me hanging.
No, don't leave it. No, would you just all like to remind everyone once again what the killing curse is?
Avada Kedavra.
And do you remember what she said last time?
Abracadabra.
This time, it's Alakadabra.
Hello, Kedavra.
It was ... Voldemort. Chapter 14. Author notes. Fuck off you preps, okay?
Stop flaming.
No, I shouldn't say it. Raven, thanks for helping again. I'm sorry I couldn't update, but I was depressed and I had to go...
Depressed?
No, it says depressed.
What does she mean, depressed?
Probably. And I had to go to the hospital because I slit my wrists.
Oh, that's nice.
P.S. I'm not updating till you give me 10 godly vows.
You can't hold your viewers ransom. That's not right.
Oh my god. Warning, some of this chapter is extremely scary.
Okay.
Viewer discretion advised. Viewer? I believe you mean reader.
Reader discretion advised.
We ran to where Voldemort was. It turned out that Voldemort wasn't there. Instead, the fat guy who killed Cedric was. Do you...
Wormtail.
The fat guy who killed Cedric.
Wormtail didn't kill Cedric.
Yeah, also Wormtail didn't kill Cedric.
It was Voldemort. Fucking hell.
Draco was there crying tears of blood. Snaketail was torturing him. Does she mean Wormtail?
Oh, Nagini?
Okay. Vampire and I ran in front of Snaketail.
Vampire?
Sorry, Vampire. That was me, not them. Her. Rid my sight, you despicable preps, he shouted as we started shooting him with the gun.
Fuck me.
He looked at me and he fell down with a lovey-dovey look in his eyes. What the fuck? She put into quotes a full stop and then he said.
Okay.
So he said nothing. In this, he is 16 years old, so he's not a pedophile, okay? Huh? I asked. In a bit, I love you, will you have sex with me? Asked Snaketail. I started laughing crudely. What the fuck? You torture my boyfriend and you expect me to fuck you? God, you are so fucked up, you fucking bastard, I said angrily. Then I stabbed him in the heart. Blood poured out of it like a fountain. No! He screamed. He started screaming and running around. Then he fell down and died.
Is he a chicken? You chop her over.
I burst into tears, sadly. Snaketail, what art thou doing? Called Voldemort. Then he started coming? He started coming? We could hear his high heels clacking to us. What is it? Is he in drag? So we got on our broomsticks and we flew to Hogwarts. We went to my room. Vampire went away. Then I started crying. Okay. So they teleported to Voldemort's lair to look for Voldemort. Voldemort wasn't there, so they killed a guy that was there instead. And then Voldemort actually turns up. That's why they went there. And they put it out and went home. Also, were they even on... Where'd they get the brooms?
Fuck knows, mate. It makes no sense. I'm just in it for the fucking stupid shit now.
Oh, they got Draco.
Did they?
They took Draco back?
What?
Oh yeah, Draco was there crying tears of blood. Snaketail was torturing him. Oh, so... Okay, they got what they came for. Alright. My bad.
He ejaculated, though.
I don't...
And somehow clacking heels. I've never just been sat and, like,
No.
just blew my fucking load and my heel started going...
I think she meant that he was coming towards them, but she just wrote, he was coming.
Okay.
Also...
I thought it was like a death jizz, you know, like how they have death throws.
Yeah.
Just shoots that out.
What's wrong, honey? Asked Draco, taking off his clothes so he could screw. He had a sex pack, get it? Because he's so sexy.
Fucking hell.
And a really huge you-know-what and everything. It's so unfair, I yielded. Why can't I just be ugly or plain like all the other... I lost the accent. I'll give up. Like all the other girls and preps here, except for Bloody Mary, because she's not ugly or anything. Why would you want to be ugly? I don't like the preps anyway. They're such fucking sluts, answered Draco. Yeah, but everyone is in love with me. Like Snape and Lupin took a video of me naked. Hagrid said he's in love with me. Vampire likes me, and now even Snaketail is in love with me.
Yeah, but he's dead, right? They killed him. She shot him or something, right?
Yeah. I just want to be with you, okay, Draco? Why couldn't Satan have made me less beautiful? I shouted angrily. And don't worry, Annabeth isn't a snob or anything, but a lot of people have told her she's pretty. I'm good at too many things. Why can't I just be normal? It's a fucking curse, I shouted and then ran away.
I like how she's got really Yorkshire now.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but the southern... I kept losing it too much. Chapter 15. Author notes. Guess what it says?
Stop flaming.
It says, stop flaming, okay? By the way, you suck from no on every Tim someone flams me. I'm gonna slit my wrists. Thanks to Raven for helping. Ebony. Wherefore... Ebony, shouted Draco sadly. No, please come back. But I was too mad. Whatever. Now you can go have sex with Vampire, I shouted. I stormed into my room and closed my black door with my blood-red key.
Of course it's black.
It had a picture of Marilyn Manson on it. He looked so sexy in a way that reminded me of Draco and Vampire.
This must have been written a long time ago, because
yeah.
No one's seen Marilyn Manson these days and go, oof, he's still...
Yeah. I feel like this person who wrote this is about our age. And wrote it when we were like
very young.
14.
There was a kid on my street who we were talking about back when I was like into super heavy metal and stuff like that. We were talking about Marilyn Manson because I was saying I don't like him. And he came in like halfway through the conversation, and someone was like, "But Marilyn Manson, though," and he was like, "Oh, I think she's welfare." I was like, "Oh no, oh man, you got some."
Maybe he thought you talked about Marilyn Monroe.
No, because we was like, "What you mean? You know that goth?" And he was like, "Yeah." We said something. We knew we were talking about.
I started to cry and weep. I took a razor and started to slit my wrist, blah, blah, blah. I drank all the blood, all depressed. And then I looked at my black Good Charlotte watch and noticed it was time to go to biology class.
I just noticed every time she slit her wrist, she's drank it, yeah?
Yeah.
But she's a vampire.
Yeah.
So she's slitting her wrist to kill herself, drinking the blood, which surely is like giving her life as well. Does it even work like that?
I don't know. Surely you'd get less nutrition from vampire blood.
It's a mythological fucking creature. I'm choosing for it to work like that. She's an idiot.
She's dressing herself.
Oh!
Favourite scene? I put on a short, ripped black gothic dress that said Anarchy on the front in blood red letters and was all ripped. You already said that. And a spiky belt. Under that, I put on ripped black fishnets. Does she just have any intact clothes?
What's it about goths that want to look like they're just being fucking violently raped?
Whoa.
All fucking clothes torn and shit.
Yeah. And boots that said Joel all over them with blood red letters. I put my ebony black hair out. Okay. Anyway, I went downstairs feeling all sad and depressed as usual. You said it, girl. I did some advanced biology work. I was turning a bloody pentagram into a black guitar. Suddenly the guitar turned to Draco.
Is that what's biology these days?
Yeah,
I'm sure that's alchemy.
Annabeth, I love you, he shouted sadly. I don't care what those fucking preps and posers think. You're the most beautiful girl in the world. Before I met you, I used to want to commit suicide all the time. Now I just want to fucking be with you. I fucking love you. I can't believe you've done this. I added that in. Then he started to sing The Chronicles of Life and Death. We considered it our song now because we fell in love when Joel was singing it right in front of the entire class. No, you didn't. Didn't you fall in love at a Good Charlotte? Is there a Joel in Good Charlotte? Maybe.
I don't know.
Right in front of the entire class. His singing voice was so amazing and gothic and sexy, like a cross between Gerard, Joel, Chester, Pierre, and Marilyn Manson. Don't you think those guys are so hot? If you do not know who they are, get the fuck out of her.
Chester from Linkin Park.
Oh, no.
This is what did it.
He must have read this. Umph, I said after he was finished. Some fucking prep stared at us, but I just stuck up my middle fingers that were covered in black nail polish and were entwined with Draco's now. I love you, I said, and then we started to kiss just like Hilary Duff. I fucking hate that bitch, and CMM in a Cinderella story. Then we went away holding hands. Lupin shouted at us, but we stopped because everyone was clapping by how sexy we looked together.
How is he not in Azkaban?
I know. Fapping it to underage girls outside the window. Come on. Then I saw a poster saying that MCR would have a concert in Hogsmeade right then. We looked at each other, all shocked, and then went together. End of chapter 16, 15? I'm loving this, mate. I can't wait for us to do another podcast because I just want to know dude, we're on page 7, which is chapter 15. There are 14 pages.
Oh, like halfway through.
We're halfway through.
And nothing has happened.
Absolutely fuck all. What happened with Harry's scar? Was it supposed to be a thing? Was it supposed to...
I don't know, mate.
It was like she made the decision for his scar to be a pentagram, intended to write it earlier, forgot that she didn't write it, and then decided she wanted it to be scar again, and then just to clarify, she said, oh, I turned it into a pentagram, but now it's a scar. It's a lightning bolt. And it's like, you never said it was a pentagram. You could have just said that his lightning bolt scar was...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, she introduces things that are, you know, like, and then she tells us that it used to be something else, and we had no idea because it's the first time we've literally heard about it.
Yeah, there was no need to do that. You just tell us what it is now.
Fucking this girl, innit?
Anyway, that's a great chronicle. We'll continue it
wherever
in the next
she is,
podcast.
Right, however old she is now, she's probably normal. Right,
yeah.
Probably got a decent job, maybe. Like, she's making a living, you know.
She
I hope
probably
she wakes up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat over what she's done.
She's probably like perfectly normal girl. She's probably got brunette hair, like shoulder length. She wears like flowery dresses now. She's got the most natural makeup, like the kind of makeup you can't really tell she's wearing it. And
yeah, it's like an enhancer. It's not a cover up.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, nothing's black or blood red.
Yeah,
nothing's
exactly.
torn. Everything fits perfectly and it's all pristine and clean.
Yeah.
Maybe she wears a fucking pantsuit to fucking work or something. Who knows? The edge of teenagers is just...
I know.
You can't be with anything. It's more powerful than anything.
I'm surprised in all these scenes where she's been dressing herself, she hasn't put any like sweatbands on her like that.
Yeah. Those things that people just wear on their wrists.
That I used to wear on my wrist. Anyway, thanks for listening. We super duper appreciate that. You can find us on Twitter at UT2cast. You can find us on our website, ut2cast.podbean.com, where you can find the latest episode of our podcast every week. And we're also on iTunes, Untitled-2 space podcast. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Also, if anyone in these last few episodes has been disturbed by the readings of this My Immortal, you're on your own.